So the year was 2022. I had recently just started my fitness journey and gotten into the gym. And so naturally, the very first thing that I really wanted to do was get muscular and get big. So what did I decide to do? I decided to go on the dirtiest bulk ever recorded in human history because everyone knows that the only way to get big is by doing a massive dirty bulk. Just kidding, by the way. But through this dirty bulk and through the way that I was eating, which was probably like just an insane amount of calories every day. I bet it was anywhere from like 4,000 to 5,000 calories a day. I ended up with this amazing looking physique. And so as you can see, I definitely put on some muscle, but I put on an exorbitant amount of body fat. And so really what I want to do today is kind of just show you how I actually learned to get lean and get muscular, and really how I would change it if I could go back in time and do it now, because I would definitely do some things differently. And just so you guys know, like, this is what I used to look like a few years ago. I don't have like insane genetics or anything. I just show this because I want you to know that if you're some guy who just has pretty like normal genetics, who might be a little bit overweight or doesn't have the most insane physique, like, that's okay. And so through learning the proper principles and of course hard work and leveraging certain aspects of fitness, I was able to completely transform my physique, and I'll tell you exactly how to do it right now. And so there's three main principles that make up a good physique, and I'm going to go over each one of them in detail with you. And so the very first principle is going to be diet. So diet just consists of all of the things that you're putting in your body every day. So it's what you eat, it's what you drink, and it really is the first principle. Just the biggest difference that you're going to notice in your physique is going to come from what you eat. So one of the things that I think is beneficial is recognizing in your diet the difference between fun versus fuel. And I'll kind of explain what I mean by that. When I say fun versus fuel, there's two kinds of food that people eat. There is the fun food, which is the stuff that tastes good, it makes you feel good, it's cookies and ice cream, and it's enjoyable, and I think that everyone should have that in their life. But recognizing that there's a difference between that and actual fuel that you put in your body that your body is going to be able to utilize. That is just like a mindset thing that is going to need to happen and going to need to shift, because I think that there's a lot of people who, when they get hungry, the first thing that they're going for is that, the fun foods. It's I'm going out to get a cheeseburger or some French fries or whatever. And that's great. Like, there's a time and place for that. But I think if we can shift into looking at food in like, what is this doing to my body kind of perspective, then we can kind of look at the difference between the fun food versus the food that's actually going to be fuel for you. And so the next principle that we're going to talk about is exercise. And I know at this point you're probably thinking, oh, diet and exercise, how original. But look, guys, I don't want to BS you here. The whole point of this channel is to be extremely truthful with you. I'm not going to sit here and give you some BS diet hack or recommend some fad diet. Like, I want to tell you the truth so that you can actually get better. And so the next principle is going to be exercise. And I'll give you like my specific recommendations. What I would recommend is lift weights, prioritize lifting weights and building muscle. Whether you're trying to gain weight or lose weight, you should still be going to the gym and lifting weights. And I would recommend doing that at least 3 times a week. And then the other thing I would recommend is trying to hit 10,000 steps a day. If you're doing both of those things, hitting the weights 3 times a week and getting your 10,000 steps in, I can pretty much guarantee that you're going to have a good physique. And so the last principle, probably the most important principle, because without this one, none of it really matters, is going to be consistency. And so what consistency means is doing the dieting, doing the exercise past what you want to do. Because anytime you make changes to your life, you have to build the habit and you have to be able to adjust to the differences. Because the fact is, most diets fail within the first month or so. And so this is the most important thing, is just be prepared that it's going to be a little uncomfortable. You know, you're going to go to the gym. If you've never been before, understand you're going to be sore for like the first week or so. But just be okay with that. Like, understand that it's okay to be uncomfortable. You know, growth happens when you're uncomfortable. And so that is the most important thing, is just be ready for that. You know, don't view it as a negative thing. I think a big mistake that I made was when I first started dieting and exercising is I saw the pain or the discomfort as, you know, something negative to be avoided. But the mindset that I changed that made a big difference was I started to feel, you know, the discomfort as a good thing. You know, when I was hungry at nighttime, it meant that I was in a calorie deficit, and that was a good thing. Or when my muscles were sore after the gym, it meant that I pushed myself hard. So be ready for the discomfort and actually be proud of yourself for it. So that's the last thing, is the consistency. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are the 3 principles that I would recommend focusing on, is dieting, exercise, and being consistent. If you do those 3 things, then I can pretty much guarantee that you're gonna change your body, and it's gonna be for the better. Now, the other part of it too is I do want to mention it's okay that you're not perfect, because you're a human being just like the rest of us, and we all make mistakes. You know, there are going to be times where, you know, maybe you mess up on the diet or whatever. That's okay. Give yourself a little space for grace. Understand that it is a process, and, you know, you can make 1 step back and take 2 steps forward. Have a little bit of grace with yourself. You know, that I say that because this is almost like me talking to myself if I could go back in time, because I remember, like, I was really hard on myself. If I went out or had a bad night, or maybe I like ate something I shouldn't have eaten, then I was really like hard on myself about it. And while it is important to get back on the diet if you do mess up, it's also important to just kind of forget about it and move on, you know, get back on track the next day. So that's the other piece of it too. Now, I know that obviously diet, exercise, consistency, there's a lot of stuff that goes into that too. And if you're more interested in getting like specifics, like the kind of exercises you should be doing, the kind of food you should actually be eating, I do have a course in the description that gives you like all the specifics. I just kind of like spewed out all of my knowledge. It's several hours long. So feel free to check that out if you want. But thanks for watching the video. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.